Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on where you're watching from, ladies and gentlemen. My name is David, and I want to come to you briefly this afternoon um, to share some thoughts with you. We all know what season we're in, and one amazing thing is seasons come and seasons go. And this afternoon, I want to share briefly with something I came across that I was reading, and it's an article that I saw which the title is The Scary Times of Sussex Manual by Dan Sullivan. And I thought it's really, I deem it great to share with you this afternoon. And this was originally created um, by request by his clients, that is Dan Sullivan's clients, during the 9/11 incident. That was a response to the climate of fear, anxiety, uncertainty. And that is what we are facing in this moment. We all know what season we're in, and it's scary. It is real. But one amazing thing is, this too shall pass. And since then, when Dan Sullivan received all these requests, and he deemed it necessary to use it any time and whenever times had become more uncertain, just as the world is facing now with the COVID 19 or this COVID 19 pandemic or the coronavirus, which is going on around the world. So I would like to share their 10 strategies or 10 keys which I would like to share with you this afternoon with this short time, and that will help you keep you focused on opportunities for growth, progress, and achievement that arises when the world gets to this most turbulent times. Yeah, we I believe that we hope to support your creative thinking, communication, and actions as you navigate the months ahead. Um, so we just want to get into this, all right? And challenging times are moments where people get more creative, people get more innovative. Yes, of course, the media will pounce you with fear and anxiety. But as we look beyond our fear and anxiety, we can be more creative. And there are new things that we can do. There are things that we can do which we had never done before. This is new to me. I have been behind the scenes for quite a while. But with all this coming around, yes, we want to get ahead. We want to get in the front lines. We want to get in places where we can encourage people. We can bring hope into the lives of people. Yes, people are panicking every day. People are anxious every day. But there is hope. There is hope, and there is hope, and there is hope. This too shall pass. All right. So as we go through the 10 keys, the number one key is forget about yourself. Forget about yourself and focus on others. Now, when you forget about yourself and you focus on others, uncertainty can drive people into themselves, making them feel isolated and helpless. You can be in a crowd of people and still be isolated and still be helpless. The best strategy here is to go in the opposite direction, expanding your connections with others and focusing on helping them transform their negatives into positives. Even though we are experiencing and practicing social distancing, we can get closer through this media, through this medium that we have. By the miracle of technology, this can draw us closer. So let's get to the place of focusing on helping others to transform their negatives into positives. More, um, The more you contribute in this fashion, the less you need to worry about your own situation. When you take the focus off yourself, you don't have to worry so much about yourself, because when you draw people close to you, when you get into the domain of other people and help them out, it also helps you out. Now guess what? When you try to push somebody down, you also pushing yourself down. But when you try to lift somebody, you're also lifting yourself up. So you become a source of confidence for everyone else. So I want to encourage you, forget about yourself and be the confidence for everyone else. Your situation might be worse, but as you help others whose situation are worse than yours, this can be so amazing and so relaxing for you. All right. Number two is forget about your commodity. Focus on your relationships. We are practicing social distancing, but that doesn't mean that we are neglecting our relationships. In certain times like this, people become frightened about the visibility of their commodities, the things that they sell and the jobs that they hold. They become very uncertain. People are losing their jobs. Many jobs are closing. Many jobs are laying off their employees just to keep it, just to maintain it. People are very uncertain. They don't know if they're going to go back or they're going to lose their jobs. Now, the more strategic response here is to disregard your own commodity and focus on deepening the power and possibility of your relationships. When you deepen the power and the possibility of your relationships, that will take you further. There's a saying that if you want to go far, I mean, if you want to travel far, you go by yourself. But if you want to travel further, you go with other people. That is a relationship that we need to build in these times, in these turbulent times. So focus on your deepening the power of your and the possibility of your relationships with your family, with your friends, with your team members, with your suppliers, with your clients, with your customers, and your prospects. Don't leave them in the dark. Don't leave them not or don't neglect them. Let's deepen that power and responsibility and the possibility of our relationships. Not every time you strengthen a relationship, the visibility of your commodity will increase. Now, let me say that again. Anytime you strengthen your relationship, the visibility of your commodity will increase. So let's do that. So forget about your commodity. All right. So as we go further, as we go further, the number three is forget about the sale. Forget about the sale. This puts a smile on my face. All right. Forget about the sale. Now focus on creating value. Now, if you value other people, you increase when you increase the value on other people, that helps you increase the value on yourself. When you don't focus on yourself, but you focus on creating value in other people, value on other people, most people don't like being sold to at the best times. All right. Now, when times are uncertain or scary, like these moments that we're in, they turn off. Even in the good times, people don't like to be sold to. How much more turbulent times like this? People turn off, people tune off, and they hang up and slam shut if you try to sell to them. But what people want all the time is to value creation. That is solutions that help them eliminate their dangers, capture their opportunities, and reinforce their strengths. So this is the time. Put away the sales. Place a value on other people. Place value on yourself. Value people in these turbulent times. We don't always have to sell. Yes, we need to make a living. But in making a living, let's be sensitive to other people as well. People are frantic in those moments. Now, when you focus on providing these three solutions, the sale will naturally flow. When you put the sales behind the scenes and you begin to value people, the sale will naturally flow. It will get to a time once you place value on them, people gravitate towards you and the sale will naturally flow. Number four is forget your losses. Forget your losses. Focus on your opportunities. Things may not be as easy as they once were. Anytime we have crisis, there's a new norm. Things don't go back to the old normal. There's always a new normal. Things are going to change. Things are going to change for the better. And even though sometimes things change for the worse, but even after the worst, things will change for the better. But it is not going to go back to the same way that we used to do things. Right. So focus on your loss. Don't forget about your losses. Don't focus on your losses. Focus on your opportunities. There are opportunities in every season, in every time, and every occasion. There are opportunities in there. Let's be pessimistic. Let's know that there are opportunities in there. Now, some people never get over this. Of course, some people will never get over it. Some people get stuck even after things go back to normal. Not the same normal, but a different normal. People get stuck. They count more on their losses more than the opportunities that are in there. Right. So most people will not get over it. They keep trying to replay their old game. I used to, the same old game. They'll keep playing it through their mind. They'll keep playing it. That a better strategy is to start an entirely new game. Now, using new ideas, using new energies, new tools, and new resources. And all these new resources are there. You and I need to step out of our comfort zone and look out for these new opportunities. Now, ever since this started and social distancing is being enforced and shut down, and we've been asked to stay indoors, people are still doing business using virtual connections just like this. There are new opportunities out there. Don't let's fold our hands and cross our feet and expect that things are going to go the change um, um, to the way that it used to be. But let's take advantage of every resources that is out there. Let's take advantage of every resource that is out there, and let's find new ideas. Let's find create your new energy. Some of these things will not come by accident. You have to step out and do it, and do it better. Look, you cannot get it right the first day. Make room for making mistakes. Make room for making errors, and correct the mistakes and the errors as you go along. As you go along this journey, new ideas, new energies, new tools. Find out the new tools. Find out the new resources that are out there, and use it to the advantage to help other people as other people help you. There's a quote that a woman said that if you help people to get what you need, they will help you to get what you need. So let's do that. Let's take advantage of that. And as the world changes, opportunities suddenly become available to achieve for far more than you ever did in the past. The world is changing, ladies and gentlemen. It's not going to go back to how we used to do things. Now, think about the 9/11. When 9/11 happened, things have changed throughout the entire world. Now you can go through the airport without taking off your belt and your shoes, except you have the TSA. You've signed up for the TSA pre-check, but every other passenger has to go through. It's the security screening, which wasn't the same before the 9/11. Things are changing. And as we go through this pandemic, things have changed. Things are going to change, ladies and gentlemen. So let's take advantage of it. The opportunities suddenly become available. Let's take advantage of the opportunities that have become available, and let's achieve far more than ever as we did in the past. Let's achieve far more as we did in the past. Number five, I said I have 10, so we're going through this. And number five is forget about your difficulties. Forget about your difficulties. It is easier said than done. It is easier said than done. Focus on today. Now, John Maxwell, Dr. John C. Maxwell, wrote a book entitled Today Matters. And as today matters, let today count. Let today count. You know, the future, the only future that has any reality is the one you continually create for yourself through each day's contribution. What you do today will affect your tomorrow, will affect your future. What you cannot do is to do nothing, because there's something in there for you today. If you're alive today, there's a purpose for you to fulfill. Take advantage of it. Let today count. Let today count. Take it one day at a time. As you take it one day at a time, as you go through the day at a time, this is an excellent time to ignore all those experts who never saw the present circumstances coming. Focus on what you can do over the course of each 24 hours, and you will be the only expert on the future you ever need. So within the 24 hours, count every 24 hours, focus on every 24 hours. Take inventory of every 24 hours. Sit down and make an assessment. What did I do today? Which one went well? Which one didn't go well? How can I make it better? How can I correct this? How can I be a better person tomorrow from what I did today? As you keep correcting it, you are creating your future. You are creating your future. All right. I think what I did was okay. So go back a little bit. I skipped the six. That is I skipped the six, and I went to um, let me go back and talk to you about forgetting your difficulties. Now, as you focus, forgetting on your difficulties, you have to focus on your progress. Things may not be as easy as they were once. Now, there are new difficulties. Can These new difficulties can either defeat you or reveal new strengths. Your body muscles always get stronger from working against resistance. You don't build our muscles overnight. You don't go to the gym and work out one day and expect to have those muscles pumped up. It's from being consistent and continually working them out. The first day you go to the gym, you come back sore, depending on how you work out. But if you count on the pain from the first day and you don't go again, you realize that the sore intensifies. But as through the pain, when you go again, now the pain begins to reduce. The pain reduces. All right. So as you build your body muscles, always they always get stronger from working against resistance. The same is true for the muscles in your mind, your spirit, and your character. Treat this whole period of challenge as a time when you can make your greatest progress as a human being. There's so much potential in you. There's so much. Don't let it go waste, because times are getting difficult. People are losing their life investments through the stock market. People are losing their jobs. They are losing their homes. They are losing their families. In the midst of every difficult situation, there are you can make progress in this period of challenges. There was this little boy that went to the grandfather and he told the grandfather, "Give me a life lesson, teach me a life lesson." And the grandfather told him that there are two wolves inside everybody. So the little boy asked the grandfather, "What are the wolves?" He said, "The two wolves is fear and faith." Now, depending on how you feed them, they become stronger in your life. If you feed fear, fear overtakes your life. If you feed faith, faith gets stronger and it feeds your life. So he told the grandson, feed your faith and starve your fear. So, ladies and gentlemen, in these turbulent times, in these fearful times, in these panicking moments, I want to encourage you, feed your fear and starve your faith. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Feed your faith and starve your fears. Let me say it again. Feed your faith and starve your fears. As you feed your faith, it's going to get stronger. It will cause you to live beyond any turbulent moments because you're not dependent on yourself. I'm a person of faith, so let me put it in here. You're dependent on God. At the end of the day, it's God who rules and reigns in our lives. So as you feed your faith and starve your fears can never override your faith. It can never get ahead of you. When people are crying, you are moving forward. When people are uncertain, you are certain. When people are losing faith, you are gaining more faith. So forget about your difficult times. Forget about your difficulties. I did skip that and I went over to forget about your future. But let me go over that again. Let me go over that again. I say that, hey, go ahead, make mistakes, correct your mistakes as you go on. You can never get it perfect the first time you do it. You can never get it perfect. But as you keep making mistakes and correcting your mistakes, that is what helps you to be better in what you do. All right. So let's go back and let me touch again on the sixth point, which is forget about the future. Now focus on today, and today really matters. So the only future that has any reality is the one you continually create for yourself through each day's contribution, each day's achievements, and each day's results. So let's keep doing that. One thing you cannot do is to sit and do nothing. There's a story about a crow and a rabbit. The rabbit was just walking through the forest, saw a crow perching up on a tree. So rabbit looks up and calls the crow, "Hey, crow, what you doing up there?" Crow says, "Hey, just relaxing." He says, "Can I also relax?" Crow says, "Sure." So as the rabbit was sitting down, not doing anything, there was an eagle flying by. The eagle located the rabbit, came down, dived down, pounced on it, got it, and ate it up. And the crow said, "Hey, if you want to sit and do nothing, make sure you are high above the ground." So don't sit doing nothing. There's something you can do. Don't think that all hope is lost. Don't think that your future has crumbled. No, there's something more on the inside of you. One amazing thing that I know that God created each and every one of us is He gifted us with talents, and abilities, and potential. That is why you're so unique. There are certain things that it is only you that can unfold it, that can unwrap it for the world and for the generations to benefit from. Look within yourself, what you do best, and put it out there. You can help one person, and by helping one person, you never know, it can be a ripple effect. Helping that one person can go further. Helping that one person can stretch out to other people. So forget about the future and focus on your now, your today. Your today counts. Your today matters. What you do today can help you achieve your tomorrow and your future. So the seventh one is forget about who you were. Forget about who you were. Now focus on who you can be. I said earlier on that when things change in the world, when situations change in the world, when there's chaos in the world, things change. And as human beings, we are changing every day, day in and day out. We are changing. Focus on your focus on who you can be and don't focus on who you were. Now, many people define themselves by external circumstances. When these abruptly or unexpected changes happen, they don't know who they are anymore. So they keep trying to be who they used to be. Have you heard about people that said, "Oh, I used to do that, I used to be that"? They are still living in their past. What you used to be is not what you are now. So focus on what you can be now and what you could be now. All right. So from now on, take your cues from the inside, from your dreams, ideals, values, and operating principles. You have in you these qualities. You have in you these qualities. Now, these needs never change, regardless of your circumstances. Take advantage of external confusions to become self-directed, self-managed, and self-motivated. Sometimes we have to be our own cheerleaders. You have to tap your shoulders and be your own cheerleader when others are not cheering for you, because you have it on the inside of you. There's so much on the inside of you that you can unfold, you can tap into. So let's get into that. Forget about who you were and focus on who you can be. There's a new being in you. That is why, that is why our God said we are human beings. We haven't arrived. You are being. There's a human that is being in you. That means that there's more progress on you. There's more potential in you. So let's focus on that, and let's see how further we can go. We can stretch ourselves more than anything else, right? So as we forget about who you were, let's forget about events. Forget about events. Focus on your responses. Focus on your responses. When things are going well, many people think they are actually in control of events. That's why they feel so defeated and depressed when things turn bad. People are now depressed more than anything else. People are now feel they have been defeated, feel that they've lost everything, especially people that are used to face meetings and interactions and presented to large crowds in person. Things have changed. And it might be that it might not go back to that normal. But let's get it straight. That is why we feel so defeated when and depressed when things turn bad. Now they think they've lost some fundamental abilities. The most consistently successful people in the world know they can't control events, but continually work towards greater control over the creative responses to events. And and there's this DJ. He was interviewed on MSNBC the other time, and he's used to holding events in stadiums where they get, I mean, ten thousands of people in there. And with all this shutdown and social distancing, he decided to hold a live event on Facebook. And amazingly, he reached and so many people that for the first time, he said he reached over more than 100,000 people showed up on his Facebook live event. And these were people he had never connected with them before. I mean, these were new people, aside all the other people that his fans and all the other people he had connected with in live events. And he's taking advantage, and he's delivering a message which people are responding to. Right. So let's forget about the event, and anytime there is fear and uncertainty or discomfort, it is an excellent time to focus your attention and energies on being creative, responsive to all the unpredictable events that lie ahead. Don't let fear rule. Don't let fear overtake you. There's something more that you can do. So forget about the events and focus on your responses. Yeah. So as we forget about the events and focus on our responses, we want to forget about what is missing. We want to forget about what is missing. Focus on what is available. All is not lost. All is not lost if you still have life. You might have lost your life investment. You might have lost your job. You might have lost your family. You might have lost your kids. You might have lost a family member through this pandemic. But all is not lost. Focus on what is available. When things change for the worse, many desirable resources are inevitably missing, including information, knowledge, tools, systems, personnel, and capabilities. These deficiencies can paralyze many people who believe they cannot make decisions and take action. A strategic response is to make advantage of every resources that is immediately available in order to achieve as many small results and make as much daily progress as possible. Work with every resources and opportunities at hand. All is not lost. There are still resources that we have. There are still opportunities that we have. And you have the confidence, pick up that confidence, gather that confidence, and you will continually grow. So forget about what is missing and let's focus on what is available. As we forget about what is missing and what is available, finally, the last but not the least, let's forget about your complaints. Let's forget about your complaints and focus on your gratitude. When times get tough, everyone has to make a fundamental decision to complain or to be grateful. In an environment where negative sentiments is rampant, the consequences of this decision are much greater. Complaining only attracts negative thoughts and negative thoughts in people. Gratitude, on the other hand, creates the opportunity for the best thinking, actions, and results to emerge. Focus on everything you are grateful for. Make a list of the things that you're grateful for. Make a list of the things that you're grateful for. Um, Communicate this and open yourself each day to be the best possible consequence. Complaining doesn't really take you any further. It gets you more depressed, it gets you more discouraged, it makes you more discontent, it makes you more unappreciative. But when you focus on what you have, you can always be grateful. You can always be grateful for something. There's a story about this man that he had a Bentley, and with his driver, he was going out with his driver, and he sat in his car looking at a picture. Went on Facebook, looked at a friend of his, a colleague of his who had just purchased an airplane. And he said, "Oh, I would have been really happy if I can also afford an airplane." He was in his Bentley with his driver. So just before they moved out of the garage, another gentleman showed up who had an ordinary car. Let me put it that way. I'm not going to put any names to the car, but a less expensive car. He bought it used, walked up to the gentleman with a Bentley, and he also said to him, "I would have been very happy if I had your car." So the gentleman in a Bentley drove off, and just as he was walking to his car, another gentleman who was going to take the bus also met him and said, "Oh, I wish I had your car." So he also sat in his car just thinking about it. As he was driving off, this man was walking to the bus stop, met another guy, another gentleman riding a bicycle, and he said to him, "Oh, I wish I could afford riding on a bus." So he also had a thought. And as he was waiting for the bus to get on the bus, and this gentleman riding on a bicycle also was riding off, he met another person, and the person says, "Oh, I wish I had a bike that I could ride." So, as he also said to the gentleman on the bicycle, as he was walking away, he saw this person in a wheelchair who had lost both limbs. And he stood and looked at this person in a wheelchair. And the person in the wheelchair said, "I wish I had legs like you to be walking. But one thing that I'm grateful for is I still have life." So we have to be grateful to God for everything that He has given us. The most important thing is once you have life, there is hope. Don't give up. Don't give up on anything. You have life, you have hope. So with these 10 things that I shared with you today, I am trusting that it's going to help you and you're going to help somebody else pick themselves up from every place of discouragement, despair, or hopelessness so that they can have hope. That you forget about yourself, you forget about your commodity. As you forget about yourself, focus on others. As you forget about your commodity, you focus on your relationships. Forget about the sale and focus on creating value. Forget about your losses and focus on your opportunities. Forget about the difficulties and focus on your progress. Forget about the future and focus on today. Forget about who you were and focus on who you can be. Forget about events and focus on responses. Forget about your what is missing and focus on what is available. And finally, forget about your complaints. Be grateful. Share this with as many people as you can. My name is David Jail, and I want to assure you that this too shall pass. There is no permanent situation under the sun. This is a season, and this too shall pass. I hope to come to you again. Have an amazing and a blessed day. God richly bless you, and we hope to meet again. Good, goodbye.